Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. In this guide I'm taking on the brand new and very awesome Ogor Mawtribes, starting with the Tyrant. It's going to be a classic contrast painting tutorial with some additional edge highlights too. And the scheme we're focusing on here is the Winterbite clan. So grab your paints and your brushes and let's get hobbying. And we're beginning with the Ogor Mawtribes Tyrant in the Winterbite colour scheme. So as always, we're beginning with just a few ground basics of it all on the same wavelength. The model is fully assembled and it has been completely primed in white scar. As always, I like that bright, bold, vivid finish. So with that said, let's crack on to our first colour. So first up, we're going to start working on the fur. We've got this large section here, as you can see, if you're building this option. So nice and simple, the colour we're beginning with is Mortarian Grime. It is a shade paint, but we're treating it like a contrast base coat colour. So nice and simple, start at one end, start at the top, work your way down each of the strands, all the way around. Keep an eye for pooling, particularly here. This is where I've noticed it the most. Just don't overload your brush. You want a nice even layer. You've also got the underside, and it's very easy to reach, as you can see, just going around, as you can see. So this is not the end colour. We're going to put another shade paint over this, so let it completely dry. We'll move on to the next step. Next up, once that Mortarian Grime is dry, I've taken Nuln Oil, and this is going straight over. A second layer, darkening those recesses, making it a lot grimier and grungier, as you can see. So, nice and simple, exactly as before. Let it dry. We'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Black Templar, and this is going to be for the trousers. Nice and simple, getting a brush in. However, I'm also using a small airbrush that is old and battered. Still got a tip, but nothing for fine detailing. Something that you can just get in, flick about, very carefully of course, that you're not worried that paint gets into the fell. The areas you can absolutely reach, you just need a brush that's had its day, because you don't want to spoil any new brushes in that sense. So get that all painted on, nice and simple. There's a little section you can reach here. You're bound to make mistakes. We're obviously avoiding the soft cloth for the boots, because that's going to be brown leather. Same, you've got details up here you don't want to catch. If you do make a mistake, nice and simple, use white scar to fix. But get that done, let it dry, fix any mistakes, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Cygor Brown. So when we look at the box art for the Winterbite colour scheme, we do see this brown leather. This is what it's for, nice and simple. We've got the cloth here for the boots. As you can see, we can catch the metal details because this is going to be silver, so you can afford to be a little bit messy here. Obviously avoiding these panels here as best as you can, but once again you can obviously fix that with white scar. So we've got them. We've got the leather of the sword, as you can see in its harness. Nice and simple. There is a satchel bag that's just here as well that I've done. And finally, we've got these little medallions held up by this necklace. We're painting it in Cygor Brown too, all the way around, as you can see. So get that done. Any mistakes, again, you can fix with white scar. We'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Guilliman Flesh, and this, nice and simple, it's just our skin tone. So all the flesh that you can see at the back, the front, the face, but you've also got these gloved hands too. So just the fingers here, as you can see, and same again on this side. So get that done, let it dry, and then we're going to shade that skin a little bit further. Next up, we're taking Berserker Bloodshade, and once that Guilliman Flesh is dry, we're applying it straight over, giving it a much more redder, rawer look. Really help with the heat as well, in that sense of the flesh against that contrast of cold undertones for the armour and the base that I'll do later on. So get that done, let it dry. One important note as well, when it comes to the teeth, both the Guilliman Flesh and the Berserker Bloodshade, I'm going straight over them. Don't worry about Skeleton Horde or any of those colours, we can just pick out the teeth individually in the highlight stage. So get that done, let's move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Briar Queen Chill, and this is base coat colour for all of the wrap bindings, the tassel cloths, the ribbons, that kind of stuff. We've even got these little medallions. I've done it on those as well. So if you have gone over with the previous colours, just simply relayer in white scar, let that dry, and then apply the Briar Queen Chill. Gives that real cold aesthetic, again, contrasting against that skin tone. So, take your time, be patient, get that done. When it comes to the bindings and stuff, I've gone a little bit heavier than normal, just in certain areas, just so it can settle into the recesses. It just means we haven't really got to worry about edge highlighting or even dry brushing and spoiling any other details later on. So just keep an eye on that, just don't let it pull. But with that said, let's move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Ratling Grime, and this is going to be for a lot of leather details. So for this alternative chest piece build, where it's not armor, but actually this leather sort of armor instead, rather than metallic, we're just base coating it there to begin with. Starting at the top, working our way down, nice and simple. We've then got the outside part that I've done here, of our little fur cape, going into the inside as well, which you can access in this area here, and here, that's where you can physically see it. And of course, there's a few little areas on the inside here too, switching to a bit more of an old battered brush as we do it. If you catch a side, just quickly wash the brush and just wipe away the mistake as quickly as possible. Other uses for Ratling Grime, we've got our leather arm straps as well. So this piece of armor here, as you can see, the soft part going round to here. It does go around the fingers on this section here, and obviously you've got the one here too. So, get that done, let it dry, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Basilicanum Grey. Now this is just a small use. We've got the rock here that the Tyrant's standing on, and quite simply both sides of this rock if you've built this version of the weapon. Nice and simple, get that done. Once that's drying, this is the time now that we need to start fixing mistakes. Where we've got the armor here and up here, as well as the bits on our arms, that's what we need to relayer in White Scar. Anything down here is going to be metallic. Helmet is metallic, so we don't need to worry about those. I'm also going to relayer just a little mistake here on the white at the back too. So get that done and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to focus on the two different armor colors. There are going to be more metallics later on, but I just want to really showcase the two different colors, the metal that I mentioned as well as the white. So we're going to start with the metal first, nice and simple. The color here is Iron Warriors. This is a nice thick base coat. You only need one layer of this, so just apply it all over. If you're copying this model, obviously you've got the helmet, the blade, the metal parts around the hammer, you've got the arm plates down here on the feet, as you can see, and all the other little hooks and trinkets. There's also at the back here, as you can see, and we have got a little hook that's just hidden under here as well. You can reach it from this angle and this angle. It's very easy to do without catching any of the other details. So let that all completely dry. I have gone ahead and shaded them already because we might as well in that sense. And the color here, if you're copying along, is Drakenhof Nightshade. That blue, again, it just helps to create this cold undertone feel of our winter tribe. So with that said, we've obviously got the white armor panels, nice and simple, Apothercary White. What I'm not doing though is overloading the brush, just a nice fair amount spreading it evenly across the entire armor panels so it settles into the recesses, but it doesn't take away that white. We don't want it excessively grey, because even though it's called Apothercary White, it is a grey paint. We just want it to be mostly white, as you can see. So you've got the panels here on the arm, obviously the chest piece here, and I've done this little bit at the back as well. So get that done, let it all completely dry, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to focus on our remaining metallic details. Just a base coat at this stage. There are two colours. Once again, I'm going this warm colour theme. We've got all this cold wintry theme going on. We just want that contrasting effect. So to begin with, we're taking Castellax Bronze. This is a layer paint. We're treating it obviously as a base coat colour. This is the dark bronze that you see here. Obviously there is an alternative build where if you're doing that, I'd be going down the Skeleton Horde route because it's more bones. However, this works really well even with our winter theme with the colours that I'm mentioning. So Castellax Bronze up here. We've also got the trinkets too, going all the way around the fur. Not forgetting, of course, the two in the neck. So one there on that necklace, as you can see, and one there as well. I've also got this little strip here on the blade at the back. That's all our Castellax Bronze. Now, I have found with this paint, just the way it works, you only need one base coat. Nice and simple. However, of course, don't apply it too thickly. Now let that completely dry, and then it comes to our lighter bronze colour. This is Brass Scorpion, so as you can see, I've done the back here, nice and simple. In addition, the handle of the blade down here as well. So reaching from both these angles, as you can see. Now again, this is a layer paint. However, unlike Castellax Bronze, I find this one to be incredibly thick. So apply 2 thin coats. You don't want to clog up the details, and as you apply it, especially in this large surface area here, it's going to be a little bit patchy. So let that first layer completely dry, then add a second layer of Brass Scorpion. And let that completely dry, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to get the model battle ready. Turning it around, we're starting with Wyldwood. We need hardly any paint here. We just got this little wooden piece here that's holding up this icon frame. Nice and simple. Now moving on from that, when it comes to our metallic details, this is the Brass Scorpion and the Castellax Bronze. I'm taking Ratling Flesh shade, just shading it completely all over. However, there is a lot of verticality. Always start from the top, work your way down. Keep an eye for pooling. It will happen. So just move the paint around as you see it settling. So that's all of those bronze details. Finally, I'm doing the basing now because we're going to add to the basing a little bit later on. Sticking with the wintry theme, when we see the sort of box art in the actual Battletome, it's just pure Valhallan Blizzard. It will get a shade, however, of course, it needs to be there. It needs to dry first of all. So apply a nice even lumpy texture of that all over, as you can see, and with that the model is battle ready. The Tyrant looks incredible. However, we're not leaving it there. While it's perfect for the tabletop, we're going to take it to the next level by applying a whole load of highlights. So let's move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to finish off the model. I'm going to split it into 3 parts here, covering all of the individual highlights. Obviously, in this instance, it's already done. We're going to start with the base first. I'm taking Nuln Oil. This is going to be a shade all over that Valhallan Blizzard, but on its own, it's too strong. We're fitting it down, and it's a 2-to-1 mix. So 1 part of Nuln Oil into a palette and mix 2 parts of Lamia Medium to thin it down. And as you can see in the recesses, this is what you're going to end up with. It creates this sort of grungy, snow-like texture. Of course, we're going to need to restore that once it's dry, and the colour is going to be White Scar. So nice and simple for the actual Valhallan Blizzard. This is the only dry brushing I'm doing here. Nice and simple, all over. When you've got most of the paint off from the bristles and you're doing the dry brushing, in the big open areas, I'm just moving the brush around, just really catching as much and restoring that brightness as possible to those outer edges. Now keep the White Scar to hand because we've got more uses. There's obviously the white armor, where we're doing classic edge highlighting here, as you can see. And then finally, when it comes to the eyes, I'm just picking out the eye sockets, ready to do the pupils. So once that's dry, when it comes to the pupils, nice and simple, I'm taking Abaddon Black, small layer brush once again, tiniest dot on the tip of your brush, and in they go. Nice and simple. So, get that done, we'll move on to the next set of highlights. Now, not everything needs a highlight. I'm not doing the Black Templar, that's pulled away quite nicely, same as the Basilicanum Grey. And when it comes to the Briar Queen Chill, you can use White Scar if you need to fix an edge highlight. For example, here, there is no edge highlight applied, but as you can see where it's pulled away, White Scar was already the underlayer. So if you need to fix anything, that's the appropriate colour here. But we are moving on, and the next colour is Iron Rack Skin. This is going to be for all the fur that we see here. I've done it by hand. Yes, you could do it by dry brush. However, you're likely to chip away some paint and, of course, catch other areas which you don't want to do. So just take your time, small airbrush. You're not going to notice much difference. This is practically the same colour as what we've created. However, it just makes it a bit more brighter and crisper. And if you made a mistake, well, it just fixes that as well. Nice and simple. Now, when it comes to the teeth, obviously I mentioned to begin with, we've gone over with flesh tones. We're not doing skeleton hordes or anything like that. Just do the flesh tones, and when we're ready to this stage, we're taking Screaming Skull. Nice and simple, taking your time, picking those teeth out. Moving on from that, I'm taking Castellax Stone, and this is for all of the Ratling Grime details. So where we've got the stitchings, these big sort of stretch areas here in the leather armor, that's what we're edge highlighting here. You've obviously got the Ratling Grime down here, as you can see, and along this part of the cloak as well. Nice and simple. Moving on from that, I'm taking Ogor Brown. Exact same principle. This is for the Cygor Brown details. So down here, as you can see, and then we've got the holster here as well for our sword. So that's that colour. Finally, when it comes to the skin tone, we want something that makes it pop. However, we don't want to go too bright and excessive. What I've picked here is Cygor Flesh. It's, you know, one of the darker ones. You could go Flayed One Flesh if you want it a bit brighter. However, this works quite nicely in that sense, especially with that Berserker Bloodshade in place. So, little spot highlights on the nose, picking out the cheekbones, picking out bits and bobs, as you can see. I'm not doing every individual part of the muscles, but where it's most prominent, for instance, this little line here, absolutely picking those out. Same here, and obviously spot highlights on the knuckles. So, get that done, and we'll move on to our metallic highlights. Finally, we're going to cover the last remaining highlights, and this is our metallic details, starting with the silver, and I'm keeping to what I like here, Stormhost Silver. It's extremely bright. You could go Ironbreaker, but I do like a bright, bold, vivid finish. So classic edge highlighting, picking out the rivets, etc. This includes the big blade down here. Obviously, I'll cover what we're doing there in a minute. Now moving on, we've got the Castellax Bronze. As a reminder, that's our dark bronze colour here. And I'm taking Runelord Brass. Now this is a base paint, however we're treating it like an edge highlight colour here. And it does help to really bring a nice shine to that Castellax Bronze without overwhelming it. Kind of keeps it dull, but still really picking out that brightness of the edge highlight. Moving on from that, we've got the Brass Scorpion details, and I'm using Gehenna's Gold. Give this paint a really good shake. It's like Auric Armor Gold, however a lot darker in that sense. And when you do it, it's just going to give a real kind of flaky shine rather than the classic edge highlight. It's just really nice. It helps it to pop. It's not too, you know, in your face. It just really complements Brass Scorpion, as you can see. And depending on where you're actually angling it, the light just really complements and hits it here. So that covers the metallic details. Finally, I'm taking Blood for the Blood God. A great big blade like this is not going to be clean. I've gone quite heavy on it in that sense. Heavier to this section here, because that's where the action is going to be. A little bit less, but still quite a bit at this section here. Again, with a paint like this, go as little or as much as you want. Mostly, I'm working the paint off into a paper towel, almost like a dry brush, but it's just stippling it on, nice and simple. So, with that done, our model is complete. All I'm going to do now is apply some grass tufts, and we'll bring it together at the end. And there we have it. The Winterbite Tyrant is complete, and for the new models, yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. I do like this colour scheme with them. It really gives that bleak but also deadly vibe. It is just perfect. Great models. Looking forward to the rest of them. Now, if this guide has helped and inspired you, then please do give it that all important like and share it too. Sharing helps the Warhammer community. It means people find my channel, and if they need that kind of guidance, well, you're helping them, and that is what the purpose of my channel is. And if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. That's what helps the channel grow, and of course, the more it grows, the more I get to continue doing this, supporting the awesome Warhammer community. So, until that next video, do look after yourselves, and happy hobbying.